What is up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. I am your host, Damon Anthony. And as usual, we emphasize on sports talk and sports talk alone. Very rarely do I step outside the lines with anybody because I really don't care about people's personal business. Most of these athletes, they really don't want you to know about their personal business. So we emphasize on sports here. I'm going to talk sports only. All right. Now, if you're new, check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe. We're also available anywhere that your podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon. We're around. So check us out. I try to keep every episode to 35 minutes at the most, unless it's a special episode, because I just want to get to the point, let people move on to their day. All right. So what we're talking about right now, NFL is revving up. We just passed the second week of preseason. Now, for those of y'all that are expecting a full blow by blow on preseason games, I'm not that guy. Preseason is for team building. It's for the guys that are trying to make the final 53. It's not as much for the fans. Fans, even myself, we get pumped to see football back. I'm a 49er fan. I came home the other day, put the Niner game on, but I saw Brock Purdy for a drive. Nothing against the rest of the players on my defenders, but when I tune into a Niner game, I want to see everybody that's starting all year that's ready to get after it. So for me, I do check the preseason. It's always good to catch some of the fun storylines, some of the interesting storylines, especially when you have new guys, different places. When you do have guys that are out with injuries and you want to see who's going to replace them, that's kind of what preseason for me is about. Storyline wise, we see what's going on with the Browns. They probably have the biggest storyline in all of preseason NFL football right now. They're holding a real heavy quarterback room. We know Deshaun Watson out for the year. We got that. Understand, no problem. But now you got Flacco, you got Pickett, you got Shador, you got Dylan Gabriel. One thing I will say, Shador, he looked good last week in his first action as an NFL quarterback. Dylan Gabriel looked damn good in his first action as an NFL quarterback. So who's going to be the odd man out? I'm feeling like it's going to be Pickett. Shador, he had the talent to be a first rounder, fell from whatever reasons that he happened to slip in the draft. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know, because none of us really truly know. But for whatever reason, he slipped in the draft. He went from a first rounder to a fifth rounder. Dylan Gabriel, that was a third round quarterback. Typically, first and third rounders don't get cut. Not right out of training camp, unless they were absolutely terrible. And neither one of these guys are terrible. They both look very good, fully serviceable. Now you look at Kenny Pickett. This is going to be Pickett's third team since he's been in the league. Right now, he's dealing with a nursing injury. We see Flacco has been named QB1 to start the year. Pickett, you may have to cross them lines, buddy. I hate to say it like that. If not, we're going to see one of them get cut and probably get scooped up really fast. If it's Dylan Gabriel, I see him getting scooped up within 24 hours. Same thing for Shador. I know with Shador, a lot of people want to emphasize the fanfare and all that comes with him, but from what I see, he seems to be a young man that's ready to play football and trying to get better and trying to do better by the team. So that's just one of the really intriguing storylines that's going on right now. Other ones like New York Giants, their quarterback room. I think we all fully understand and know that Russell Wilson is going to start that season. But then when does Dart come in? What role does Jameis play? Tommy DeVito, what's going on with him? Now, I expect the Giants to be the last team in their division, but you have your young quarterback who could be your quarterback of the future. You have your stud receiver. You have a running back that's actually pretty decent at a young age. Can we see what's going on here? Maybe they start to move in the right direction. If not, this could be Dayball's last year. So right now, I'm just going to take a small look at all of the divisions within both of the conferences. Probably next week, I'm going to sit down and I'm actually going to break down all the conferences team by team. I'm going to give you my predictions, who's going to win those conferences, who's going to win the divisions, who's going to win the conference, who's going to go to the Super Bowl, and where I think the awards will fall. Are we going to start having voter fatigue when it comes to our quarterbacks? Are we going to start looking at MVPs as MVPs? Quarterback doesn't have to be the only MVP. Last year, I believe Saquon Barkley also could have gotten in. Let's make sure we're thinking about some of those teams. But when we look at these divisions, I mean, you look over at the AFC East, that's really the Bills to lose. Now with the Dolphins, I want to see what Tua is going to do. I want to see how he's going to be with the Jets. Fields, how's he gonna roll with his third new team? And then the Patriots. Now the Patriots are an interesting one. They have their quarterback, their coach. He could be their coach of the future with Mike Vrabel. They have their quarterback who could be a guy with Drake May. Now let's just see how it all works out. Now you look at the AFC North, always a tough division, always going to be headbangers. All four of the teams may not always be great, but they play against each other tough. Now coming up this year, I got 3 out of 4 of these teams actually making some noise. Not saying we're Super Bowl winners, but the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals, they're all good quality teams. Browns, not so much. Browns, we'll just see. If they can have some quarterback play, Stefanski keeps getting coach of the year, which I really think he's an overrated coach. But now coach of the year, let's see what you got. When we're looking at the AFC South to me is one of those divisions that's just poo. It's duded. It just is. I mean, the Texans, they should win that division, but they don't really have anybody that they're playing against. Titans, Colts, Jags, not good, not going to be good. That's just what that is. All right. Now you look at the AFC West. AFC West actually has some noise. We know Kansas City Chiefs are in there. You can never knock down the Kansas City Chiefs until they're completely out of it. But Denver is an up and comer. The Chargers, they're going to have that Harbaugh effect. I'm a 49er fan. 49ers, Midland. Harbaugh gets there. Harbaugh effect. Now we're going to the playoffs. Oh, now we look up and we're in the Super Bowl. Chargers may be on that kind of path. And then you have the Raiders, who you just don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't know. They're the Raiders. They're always going to keep you in a sense of not really knowing 100% sure how everything is going to roll. Just as a fan, got to be a fan of the team, right? I talk a little bit about the NFC East. I don't see the Giants being anywhere outside of number 4, but the Eagles, Commanders, and Cowboys, anybody can win that division. Anybody could. When we get into the breakdown, I will break down these teams, but I kind of have this division somewhat wide open. Look at the NFC North, kind of the same. And for this one, I'm going to go wide open all the way around. Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions, any of them could win this division because they're going to play each other very, very tough. And that Ben Johnson addition to the Bears makes them a little bit different. We may see something else out of their offense. Remember, they got studs, so we may see something a little bit different. In the NFC South, I personally think that this is the Bucs division to lose. I know that the Falcons have big, lofty expectations, but I just don't know. I simply don't know. I mean, this isn't his second full year starting, so we don't really know what we're going to see. Could they be really good? Sure. Will they be? I don't know. Saints, Panthers, garbage, trash. All right. And then the NFC West, of course, I want to say my Niners are going to win. I think that all hinges on Matt Stafford. If Matt Stafford is fully healthy, I think the Rams have the best team in the division. Niners just have the best schedule in the division. Niners could win this one, but I don't know. The Rams look really good. I don't know what Sam Darnold's going to bring to the table with the Seahawks yet. And Cardinals, I still think are sitting in the rear there. So it's going to be a real interesting NFL season. We'll talk more and more and more about the division breakdown, about the conferences, about these players. Later on this week, I do want to touch a little bit on fantasy. Fantasy football is coming up and coming fast. On me, myself, I haven't really been as deep into all the knowledge and research as I should be. I'll say that here first. Matter of fact, when I'm done with this, I'm actually going to do probably 5 or 6 mock drafts just to get on that bike again, get it going. And as usual, go to fantasy football, hope for the best, because you never really know what's going to happen. Those injuries do occur. You can have the most stacked team ever and be hurt. So we will have some fantasy football recap coming up, as well as the breakdown of everything. So now the other piece of football that's about to start here soon, which is going to start here in about 2 weeks, college football. College football is always fun. The fans, the aura of it all, the stadiums, the traditions. That's the stuff that makes college football fun. to me. I can't watch college football with the TV on mute because I need those fans. I need to hear that. I need to see the pregame traditions. I need to see the mascots. I need to see the rivalry games. This is what I love about college football, college sports, but college football specifically. And now that we have this playoff and the big divisions are getting bigger, the big conferences are getting bigger, and they're going to continue to grow. I personally think we're going to go back in the day. I want to say like the 60s, 70s, maybe even the 80s, when you had just like the big four conferences, there was just a couple conferences with 20 teams in each. And that's fine. Because when you look at the Big Ten, a lot more than 10 teams. A whole lot more than 10 teams. But you look over there, you have Ohio State, you got Oregon, you got Penn State, um, you got USC. Those right there, that's four teams that always are going to pack a punch. Michigan is another one of those teams. I know Michigan just got hit with some sanctions from some things that happened there. You know, we'll see how that works out for that team. But the Big Ten, they're going to put some players in. They're going to put some teams in the playoffs. They're going to absolutely compete for the national championship. We know that. We know that they're going to have good product out on the field on Saturdays. You look over at the SEC. I'm in SEC country now. In the panhandle of Florida. So I'm really, really looking forward to how college football is celebrated where I'm at now. Just where I live in this small section of Florida, I already have Georgia fans, Alabama fans, LSU fans, Ole Miss fans, Florida State fans, all in this one little area. So as the season opens up and as it rolls, definitely I want to see what happens. I'm here for the shit talk. I love the shit talk. When you look at the SEC, they definitely have teams that are going to vie for the national championship. They're just going to. Texas is going to be good. Let's understand that. Texas is going to be good. Maybe the best team in the league. Georgia has been good ever since Kirby Smart came there. They're perennially good every year. We also know LSU, they're going to come and they're going to be ready to party. What's Alabama going to do? We're still in that post-Saban era, at the beginning of it still, those beginning couple of years. Now it's time to see, is Alabama ready to fully move on from Saban and start moving, to start winning? If they're not ready to start winning, then maybe time to find a new coach. That's just the way that college sports roll. If you can't win something or at least can't be in that playoff, maybe a national championship in your first couple of years, bye-bye. That's just how that's going to go. So college football is going to be real cool, real fun, always different, good storylines with the realignment of the conferences and with the different teams. You have some really interesting matchups. I mean, me for one, being able to have a possibility to see USC play Michigan or Ohio State often, that's real cool. You want to see those type of teams go up against each other. And it's not it's not anything that you would normally see, right? So other things that are out there in the sports world, Live Golf. Live Golf has been doing its thing. I'm glad that Live Golf and the PGA actually got together somewhat and decided to live with each other, pun intended, I guess, because it's golf. Let people enjoy the sport. Sure, sometimes in all of these sports we worry about tradition, and everything must always stay the same. But sometimes it's okay to have fun. You think about the NFL for the longest. What was the NFL called? What did it stand for? The No Fun League, or not for long, right? Because of how the NFL carried certain things and wanted to uphold certain traditions. Well, they started to get away from that a little bit to let the guys have fun, to let everybody fully understand, hey, this is for entertainment. Yes, it's a sport. Yes, there are rules to the sport. Yes, there are things that you have to do, but it's also here for entertainment. Understand that. So when we're talking about the PGA, sure, I get it. You don't want to have all of the theatrics that Live Golf has. You also don't want to pay people the money that Live Golf pays people. But you know what? Come with the theatrics, because you're going to have people out there that really could care less about golf, but they may tune in just to see what the Live golfers are doing. They may tune in just to see some of these theatrics. So understand that. I hope all of these leagues really understand that. Another thing I wanted to touch on, and I say emphasis on sports, this is an emphasis still on sports because it's within the confines of the NFL. So I've been seeing that some of these NFL teams, they're going to start having male cheerleaders, and there's a big uproar, huge uproar. I mean, I've seen people talking about they're jumping off the ship. I'm not rooting for this team anymore. I rooted for this team 30, 40, and now you're going to give me male cheerleaders. No way I can root for this team anymore. Male cheerleading didn't just start. Male cheerleading has been around for a very long time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a male cheerleader. I don't understand the sentiment for any of the men that are out there that are upset that their teams are going to have male cheerleaders. When you go to these games and you wear the jersey, the hat, the face paint, you have the finger, you know what you are? A male cheerleader. Just not getting paid to do it. That's the truth. It astounds me sometimes the things that people will bitch, moan, and complain about, but not take a step back and actually realize what's going on. I can take having male cheerleaders. That's more people rooting for the team. Get the crowd hot. Get everybody going. Maybe the male cheerleader, maybe they can throw the female cheerleader up higher and she can do 1,000,001 flips and catch her and she's safe. Fine with me. I just want to see my team win. And I would like to see whoever's cheering for them help get the crowd going to give some of that energy to the team. That's not tough at all. So things like that actually like really bug me out. And I really hope that these teams continue to open up and be a little more inclusive with their cheerleaders and with people that work for them. Because why not? Why not? What does it hurt? Only thing it hurts is weak people's feelings. That's it. Right. So another thing, along one of those that was interesting is the whole dildo on the court crisis with WNBA. Now, the first one, I'll admit, that was funny. You got to stop after the first one. WNBA is making great strides at picking up fan base. More and more people are paying attention to the WNBA. Doesn't matter why they tap in, as long as they tap in. But when people do check out the WNBA, now they're starting to learn these other players. They're starting to learn that the game is pretty good and pretty watchable and pretty entertaining. And we start throwing these foreign objects out on the court. It takes away from that. It diminishes that. Now you have people that are watching it looking for a joke. Me, when I'm watching it, I'm looking for a game. Damn near anything out there can be funny once. And I can get that. I can laugh at something one time. But once you're doing it 2, 3, 4 times, come on, grow up. Grow up. Now you're out here doing it just for clicks. You're trying to go viral, trying to be famous. But what you're also doing is you're slowly but surely trying to turn that league into a laughing stock by doing stuff that just makes no sense. So whoever is out there doing that or thinking about doing it, please don't. Please don't. If you want to do that, be a real one, step up, do it at an NBA game. See what that gets you. Bet you won't. But yeah, I mean, that's just something, like I said, first time funny. After that, come on, man. And the WNBA continues to do well, continues to have they're showcasing some real good players. We know next year probably AZ Fudd and Juju should join the teams, which is going to make them that much better, of course. But I really like where the NBA is going. And I love the fact they call it the W. You don't got to say WNBA all the time. It's a W. You know what it is. So that's real cool. So coming up soon, we're going to have NFL starting, college football starting, Major League Baseball. Playoff push is upon us. Then we'll have WNBA, their playoffs, which is going to be good, going to be fun. Playoffs last year were real good. I'm actually expecting the same exact matchup in the playoffs that there was last year, New York Liberty versus Minnesota. I can see that. I mean, there you're going to have 3 of the top 10 players in the league. Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, and Sophie. Whew. Sabrina, my bad. Is going to be probably some really good playoffs, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. But like I said, later on this week, we're going to talk some fantasy football. I want to break down the positions, talk about maybe some keepers, talk about some dynasty players. Definitely want to get into some young talent to look at, maybe the draft in these keeper leagues to keep for these next couple years, because that's a big part of it, right? We're going to talk about that. Then next week, we're going to do our breakdown, big time breakdown of all the conferences, all the divisions, all everything. We'll even do the same thing in college football, where I'm sure to be wrong, but I'm going to keep everything written down. I'm going to hold it up so y'all see it. Then I'm going to sit it to the side, and I'm going to make sure and talk about it later on when we see exactly how wrong I am. Until next time, I will holler.